I think the biggest thing for artists that are creative, business people / marketing people that are creative, product development people that are creative, to understand how does AI help you elevate your creativity. Simple as that. If you're not looking at AI as a solution to elevate your creativity, I think you're going to get left behind, no matter who you are. But creators are going to be first, because creators are the most likely to be stubborn. I'm sensitive about my art, all that type of shit. That motherfucker, that shit gonna goddamn have you sensitively broke.
Sensitively broke.
Yes, it is.
That is sad. And we're back with another episode of FU Money with Ty and Yoh.
Yeah.
Man, Ty, I'm Yoh. Ty, you was in the middle of saying something right before we started rolling, and I really want you to start that thought and carry us through.
Evolution of technology, I don't know if the creators are gonna get left behind.
But why do you say that? Why do you say the creators? Why do you think that the creators might get left behind in the evolution of how things have been moving?
Because I think the creators should ask themselves a question. If every company could use AI technology to get rid of them to save money and headache, would they do it? And if their answer is yes, I think they should be so close with technology in their art that they know how technology is going to drive their art for business, right? They should understand that the way that technology can be evolutionary for their IP can propel them way further than any creative in the history of creating anything. And so creators have a stubbornness about them that drives the creativity.
Yeah.
Right? But if you sit down and you have ideas, but you don't have the proper hand dialogues, or you don't have the coordination, you don't have the skill set to paint or draw or to create songs or write, but it's somebody that just have an idea that they can prompt very, very well, the AI will learn everything it needs to learn. I don't think that it will ever be able to learn taste in an evolutionary way, like style, because that's just something that Black people and humans have mastered.
Right.
But I do think that it can put creators in a very uncomfortable situation if they do not understand what's happening.
Now, tell me this, Ty. Your perspective comes from a side where I think you're a creative person, but you don't consider yourself a creator. What do you see in people who do consider themselves creators? Like, what kind of stubbornness do you see in those people that make you feel like, oh, y'all can get left behind? Is it just like a rejection, or is it I can make this. I don't need any assistance. I don't need any help.
I think it is a combination of not understanding that business drives creativity and creativity drives business, right? Business people understand that they got to deal with the creatives in order to get the business done. All creative people don't understand they got to deal with the business to get the creatives valuable, right? So that's why you see when artists, specifically music artists and producers, you see business people chasing them, running down after them, because they know how important it is. Creators don't have the same energy. Right? And what I mean by that is, if there's a deadline, a creator be like, fuck that deadline. Right? if there's a deadline, it can be a deadline on business or it can be a deadline on creatives.
Mm-hmm.
The person that's in the business administrator, they're chasing to get the deadline, right? A creator will miss the deadline on them getting paid too, though. Mm-hmm. They're not just missing the deadline on the creators. Yeah. They'll miss the deadline that will actually
it pushes
get
the
them
whole
paid.
process back.
100%.
But the creator's thinking that I'm trying to create something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the business, even the payment of getting paid, you can't really consider until you're done with the thing you're making.
Right.
Now, if you have some assistants to help you stay on course and meet that deadline, then obviously you get paid better. And these are things I don't think I realized back in the day where artists would do interviews and they'd be like, oh, the album ain't turned in yet.
Right.
I thought you can just turn an album in when you feel like it's done.
No.
I didn't know that there's people waiting on you to turn this album in because we have this set up, we got this activation, we have this tour. To not have that piece turned in on time pushes back everything. Mm-hmm. But I didn't understand that. I thought that the artist, that everything revolved around when you turn that album in, then everything else starts. But everything else is kind of already figured out before you even get to the deadline.
For the most part, if you want to be risky, you want to start setting shit up before you get the music asset. Good luck. Mm-hmm. Because when they turn the album in, the reason why it is a deadline for them to turn the album in, because the administrative side of things, they have to do licensing and checking if it's samples, if there is samples, it's time to get those samples cleared. All of these different quality control mechanisms are what makes it so that you can actually go out and license and sell without, running into lawsuits and things of that nature. So creative people, and it's crazy because I think that AI is gonna impact on like producers and songwriters and graphic designers and like CAD designers, like all of these different design and type shit, right? Photographers and a lot of people already been hit. But I think that although AI can affect acting, every creator that developed a personal brand, a personal style, that they can intentionally understand how to put a mark on what they do, right?
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is AI learns from what is positioned in front of them. Right? It's a learning protocol.
Yeah.
Humans dream. So when you're a creator and you have really sat on and taken this technology shit serious, you can say, I understand the technology to the point where it's gonna change how I create. I'm gonna utilize this, but I'm gonna make it so that you can't. It's gonna be hard for AI to duplicate what I do.
What I do, yeah.
It's the same thing with I don't know if you ever heard that story of Little Richard.
Which one?
So basically, in that time, Little Richard, I think it was like the 60s, 70s. They wouldn't let black people on the radio. Yeah. So the songs that were sung by black men and women, they would get recovered by white men and women so they could play on the radio.
Yep.
So Little Richard started singing songs that nobody else could sing. Mm-hmm. And that's how you get like Little Richard. Yeah. That's how you arrived at that because the white boys couldn't sing that song in the radio, so they was forced to start playing his songs on the radio because nobody else could sing it, right?
Yeah.
That was AI would have never thought that.
Right, they just kept duplicating.
Because they're learning based on pre-existing data.
Yeah.
Right? So creative people have to understand that, study that, and know that I'm going to utilize this data-driven asset and technology, and it's gonna drive my creativity to a whole nother different level. So, for instance, I'm getting deeper and deeper into AI, right? And I'm telling creators, yo, I'm telling y'all, you better start fucking paying attention to this shit. Like, not only just paying attention to it, working on it, utilizing it, like through all things. You know, we use AI for fuck you money to cut up our content, to repost our content. I use it for note taking. I use it for working with musicians to send them ideas like, yo, what you think about this? Can you help me when we're trying to build out this wellness business, right? So, but what AI cannot do is, it can't think about the marketing plans the way I'm gonna think about it.
Yeah.
It can't be spontaneous the way I'm gonna be able to be spontaneous. So my mind is always gonna outpace AI creatively because I've already learned the baseline of like how this works. So you can give me decks, you can give me photos, logos, you can create music, you can do all these different things. But when it comes to marketing, you're not gonna be able to outthink creatively how I'm gonna go about looking at the market.
Yeah.
Not in the early stages, not at this stage. Maybe in 20, 30 years.
And all the experience you had just thinking about it. Like you've been living in that mental space. Obviously you can prompt the AI, but it's not gonna learn based on experience.
Well, even so that's not necessarily true. Yeah. My experience is in conjunction to AI is the data that they have access to.
Yeah.
So if my experience was 15 years in marketing pre-social media, right? Or pre-TikTok, let's say pre-TikTok.
Pre-TikTok, sure.
The technology got the ability to go out and learn all of that.
Yeah.
Everything that's exposed to. So if there was a unique marketing campaign that won an award that was online, the AI can go study that. They can duplicate that, right?
Yeah.
But if I go out and I'm like, yo, I'm about to do this, that, and the third. I'm about to move this around. Them have this person do this. I'm gonna release these amount of book balloon. They're not gonna put all of that together without somebody having already done it. Right?
Yeah, it had already been done.
It had already been done because if it's already been done and it's been tracked and it has the data, and now the data can be synthesized and it can be learned. It's a learning machine.
JPEG Mafia on his latest album sampled a song that turned out to be an AI rendition of Future's Turn on the Lights as like a blues song from the 70s. Now, Future would have never sung Turn on the Lights the way that program did. But the fact that he sampled it and produced a brand new song out of an AI version of an old song. And the conversation I remember having with someone is, does he have to clear that sample?
It depends on the lyrics.
Yeah.
Because obviously Future didn't clear it. I mean, Future didn't sing it.
He didn't sing it, right?
So you don't have to worry about the master. The lyrics is probably what he would end up running into a problem with if the lyrics are identical.
I think the way I remember the song is they had sped it up to the point where you couldn't even really hear the lyrics. So it's not like the vocal track is like the soul sample chipmunk style sound.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if you can verify what's being said. It's more like beat.
If it's just sound,
yeah.
If it's just a sound, like if he took a song that had, it's very, very tricky because if you took the song that had the exact same lyrics, and sped it up so that people can't understand the lyrics, you still might be, that's a one that the courts would probably be stumped on because if you can't hear the lyrics, there is no lyrical sample.
Right.
And if it's sped up and it's just like a high-pitched chipmunk thing, that's the master, and that's a new master.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I thought was interesting. I was like, well, AI has created a version of a song that already existed, but now can potentially be a new master based on how a producer heard it and decided to flip it. And I thought that was really interesting because I think some people might look at an AI version of a song and find it to be man, I wouldn't even touch that.
Right.
That's not proper. That's not, because you just prompted it. This is a wild prompt to ask us AI to make a song that Future created and make it blues and make it from the 70s. So again, I think it's just AI might create a whole nother channel of sound or versions of songs that does not exist.
You know what's so crazy is that, like, how I look at AI, for me, like Sesame Street and Disneyland, right?
Yeah.
So we're in the process of launching our wellness business, and we've been in the wellness space for about 3 years, as of today, and going on 4. And I was like, man, I want to launch a wellness studio that's just focused around the wellness music that we can utilize throughout all of our activations, and it can bring another revenue stream to the wellness company, right?
Mm.
But I started thinking about the wellness company the same way that people think about Disneyland and Sesame Street, where there is a brand, a character that I can basically design on how the wellness music is gonna sound. And so we created this platform, and we have the first artist, wellness artist, is Frankie Rivers. And Frankie Rivers is nothing but my version of Mickey Mouse, right? In the
Yeah.
wellness space. So I tell Frankie what to do. I decide what musicians to work with, all of these different things, right? And we utilize AI to build out these sketch ideas on wellness, and then bring in an engineer, bring in a musician, slow it down, speed it up, whatever the case might be, right? To build out that wellness experience. And then we're able to build a wellness business that's not just gonna be spaced out. Like this shit is like Walt Disney. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
building Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
You're gonna see him out. You're gonna do all these different things, right? But when I say you're gonna see him out, it's not gonna be a person, it's not gonna be an animal, it's just gonna be a brand,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
everybody's gonna learn that, that brand is a wellness brand, and it can turn into Frankie Rivers wellness bars,
Yeah.
Frankie Rivers juice bar.
Yeah.
But Frankie Rivers also has a it's a wellness music brand.
You can do
And you can do
collaborations.
collaborations, you can spin off all these different things. So I can literally do a Frankie River featuring an artist that want to get in the wellness space. And now it's a brand that's attached to it. It's no different than SZA going on Sesame Street
Yeah.
and playing with and speaking and talking to Ema Elmo and Big Bird and the Cookie Monster and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These platforms have been around forever.
Right.
Sesame Street, Disneyland.
Haven't left nowhere. Yeah.
And so for me, like you said, I'm not a creator. I'm not trying to go out and create, but I have a creative taste. I have a creative ear. I have a creative
Yeah.
eye that I'm like, oh, that sound dope. Who did that? Oh, that sound dope. Who did that? And now I can use AI to build out a music brand
Yeah.
that don't have nothing to do with lyrics. That don't have nothing to do with nobody's story. Don't have nothing to do with taking people's copyrights and sampling and film. They don't even do that. It's so crazy. I just learned that when you putting out wellness music, Facebook and Instagram and YouTube don't even consider it as a fingerprint music, and they don't distribute it. So YouTube has a platform, has a technology called Content ID.
Mhm.
So that means that when you put out music, they can fingerprint the music and they can track it throughout YouTube. So if anybody upload it, you can't make money off of it.
Oh,
They
okay.
don't even got the technology to fingerprint wellness music right now.
Really?
So if I put out, I'm building a wellness company that people can take the music and go do whatever they want to do with it.
Right.
And YouTube don't have the technology right now to kind of fix that.
So it can like spread
It can spread
without it being stopped.
without it being stopped, without it being monetized on YouTube. I just learned that.
But why wellness music specifically?
I don't know. It said something about fingerprintless or some shit. I gotta go back and read.
Yeah,
I guess it's not distinct enough.
that part.
Because wellness music, you're playing it low, you know what I'm saying? But if you have a distinct sound, and that's something that we're gonna work towards to make the wellness music more
Right.
distinct, but
Part of
not
growth, but
not get out of what it actually supposed to be, service for.
do you feel like your wellness company, the way you envision it now, would you have envisioned it that way without AI?
Hell no.
No.
No. If AI would have been around when I was thinking about it, yes, but no.
No.
Because once again, working with creators, when you're trying to scale a business, they'll miss deadline. Not all creators, but like that's the culture of music artists.
Yeah.
Can't get them to meet deadlines. They're slow on different things. And that's just sometimes it's creativity. You can't always put a deadline on creativity. So that's the struggle. It's a burst. It comes, it goes, it's around, whatever.
Experiences, your life, all that. But do you feel like that is necessary for music to exist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's necessary because I'm the same way. I like I do creative marketing plans.
Mhm.
Some shit gotta hit me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I gotta be like, oh.
Yeah.
Like what we're doing for like the Frankie Rivers shit and the Mirrors Wellness Club is gonna be the music studio, but Frankie Rivers is the first product, the first artist that's gonna
Yeah.
focus on sound bath style wellness music. And it's like sound bath with soul though, right? And so the rollout I'm doing for that marketing wise is that I'm taking the title of the record, because it's called Sun Bath and Watts. I'm putting a billboard up right on Crenshaw and Slauson.
Uh-huh.
And then I got 50 other billboards that's gonna have it's gonna have 5 of the titles from the records.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 10 billboards each that's gonna have one of the titles is Players Cry in the Rain, $700 pants don't make you happy, Teach Me How to Meditate and I'll quit my job. You know what I'm saying? Soft Life Baddie,
Yeah.
Thai Massage,
Okay.
No Happy Ending. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all of these different funny, unique,
Yeah.
contradictory titles, but then it's wellness music.
Yeah.
And I'm using that as a marketing ploy, and then we're gonna launch it during our women's retreat. That's when we're gonna launch the music. That's when we're gonna introduce the music to all the women. To like, hey, this is what we're doing. The music drops tomorrow, blah, 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 blah. And just exposing them to like what we're doing, how we're doing it, and being able to share those different things. So when the women land and they get, you know, to the island, we're gonna share them, you know, the SoundCloud link, so they'll have it to be able to use it and post it on their different socials and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying?
Now, how important is it to combine the billboard aspect, which is like physical in real life, traveling, retreats, things of that nature, with a business that's helped by AI, which is all online?
I just think that it brings realness to it.
Yeah.
Out of home promotion brings realness to any brand.
Mm-hmm.
Bring realness to a movie. I think that when we're building out what we're thinking about, I'm just doing what I think creators should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If I made music, I would be thinking about this for my career. I would be thinking, I'm working on this album, similar to JP and Mafia. I'm working on this album. I need 10 records that takes this genre, fuses it with that genre. You know, I'm like, I want a country version of Pharrell fronting. Like I would just mesh a whole bunch of shit together.
Yeah.
Then I would take it and I would repurpose it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I would take it and I would repurpose it. I would throw it in, slow it down, speed it up. I would do all the different things. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm like, yo, these things are so important to drive. They're so important to like understand because AI is the wealth building platform for Black people and brown people. It puts the playing field at an even playing ground. Nobody is ahead necessarily, especially from a common perspective. People that was fucking with AI 15 years ago, it's not the same as today.
No.
Today you can commercialize it. You can actually make money off of it. So if the creators are late, because you gotta realize the creator has always been the bold ones in the Black community.
Yeah.
So the creators can't be late on this shit, man. They just can't.
I wanted to ask you about how do you feel about the future of like media and things of that nature? Is it the same as with the creative artists? Because I feel like AI is going to impact journalism, it's going to impact media. I remember reading about authors who felt they felt disappointed that AI was fed their books
Right.
and can be able to pretty much Like, if I wanted to get Stephen King's, I can't think of one of his books right now, but his bestseller, right? His bestselling book. If I wanted to take that bestselling book and make my own bestseller book based off his way of writing, is that fair?
No, I don't think it's. I think it's fair game.
Yeah.
Because if I'm a human and I love Stephen King
Mm-hmm.
and I study his entire shit and I go make my version of that, it's nothing that like I didn't copy what you did. I just made my version of it based on what I've learned.
Through AI though. It's not like based on you read his books and then you were able to like take that influence and be inspired.
That is why the people that are gonna fall behind are gonna be the people that think like that.
Yeah.
They think just because it's AI, it's wrong.
Yeah.
But if a human does it, it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
the truth of the matter is, if I'm Stephen King, if I'm the people that own that thing, I'm going to AI and saying, these are the ideas that we've had historically. Can you make these ideas better? And I would see what they come up with. And I would take those ideas and I would start my next chapters of books because I got a voice that people are going to hear. If I ever get to a place where I have a public influence of that caliber based off products I'm creating, I'm going to AI with my IP. Is there a way I can make this better? This is what I got right here. This is what it is. Let me upload these photos. Is there a way I can make this better?
Mm-hmm.
And I can sit down when it's quiet with no distractions and I can be clear in thinking. How can I utilize AI to make my IP better? How can I use AI to make my emails better? How can I use AI to make my strategy by leading a company better? I don't necessarily have to take the ideas, but it's a great exercise to see what comes from it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was having a conversation with someone about how you can ask ChatGPT questions all day.
Yeah.
There's like no limitations. It's not like a person who's going to get tired of you inquiring. Like you can continue to ask. You can continue to seek.
You can't curse at it though, because it'll start talking to you.
Yeah, have you done
I
that?
did it about her. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it literally like, you got you got to start another conversation. I was like, what the fuck?
But I guess I hear what you're saying as far as you can have the wrong mentality. And the wrong mentality will put you on the wrong side.
Well, you're going to be on the wrong side. You know, fucking
Yeah.
ifs, but it's happened before.
Yeah.
They went from analog to digital. It's happened before. People don't understand if you're old enough to know it. It's happened before. Yeah, you'll fucking be on the wrong side of it, fucking around this shit.
I get this glaring example every time I'm by, it's like this Rex Road. There's a Kroger. Growing up, that Kroger was next to a Blockbuster.
Yes, it is.
That Blockbuster now is a gym.
Yes, it is.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't no Blockbuster no more. It was a Blockbuster when I was 6.
Yeah.
By the time I was 16.
Down there on that corner.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because the building is still shaped like a Blockbuster.
Yes, it is.
But it's like a 24-hour fitness now. And every time I look at it, I'm always like, what went wrong?
Man, listen.
People were renting movies every Friday. People was in that thing like that. The foot traffic for that Blockbuster was as many people that go to Kroger. That Kroger is still there. That saying Kroger ain't moved, but that Blockbuster is gone.
Whoever has the best ideas in the world or in their industry or in their community, they use AI, those are going to be the ones that's profiting off AI. Whoever has the best ideas, like, let me pull up AI. Let me see. Boom, boom. So I'm using AI right now. I'm building CAD renders. I'm building decks. I'm building. These are all off of my ideas that I'm thinking about. That I would have probably had to reach out to somebody who. This is gonna be fucked up, but they might be a fucking pedophile.
Yeah.
I don't know that yet.
Yeah.
Now I done got them involved with my business, and this shit comes out. That I'm in business with a fucking pedophile.
Yeah.
Right? So when I'm thinking about who is attached to my business, AI ain't no pedophile.
No.
AI ain't no raper, it ain't no child molester. So I know for a fact, if I got an idea and I want to elaborate on my idea, I can literally go to the AI technology, build out my idea. and decide, okay, do I need some more help?
Yeah.
Do I need this? And I can take my idea and go straight to the brand and say, hey, listen, I have a strategy for you. You have a lack in multicultural marketing. You have a lack in lifestyle marketing. I have presented this deck that can give you ideas to move these different things around. And I could have done that in one day by myself.
Yeah.
Without having to reach out to somebody, I don't know what they do in their private life.
Yeah.
That'll fuck up my shit because I've been in business with them too long.
But you know what you in your room, you and your computer, you and your AI, y'all can sit here and collaborate on things all day.
Yeah. The most editing what we gonna have for FU money is probably gonna be somebody putting it together. I'm not gonna be paying nobody to chop up that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. But we got content on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, IG, probably on Facebook.
Yeah.
All because of we're taking advantage of AI to spread our IP, to build our
The
IP.
speed of it, yeah. And it's just faster. It's simply faster.
Yeah. Nobody with creativity was stolen.
No.
Yeah. So
You just have such a positive outlook. And again, when I've had conversations with other creators or just looking at comments about AI, just the commentary. And again, I don't know who these people are. So I'm not gonna sit here and take their opinion as but it reminds me a little bit of probably like how certain people felt when streaming first came or when the internet first
they still
came.
feel like that, by the way.
Resistant, extremely resistant, and don't want to feel like this thing should be helpful.
Yeah.
Right? Man, I remember Godfrey Hotel, right?
Yep.
When I was staying in LA, Ty would hook me up, take me to Godfrey. I met a young lady who was my waitress, and she was telling me how she would paint. She's like a painter. And I was like, oh, can you show me like your IG? I want to see your painting. She was like, oh, I don't post them. It's like, you don't post them? She was like, nah, I don't really post them. I just kind of paint them and they just like in my room. And I was like, well, how do you expect to make money off your art? And she told me that, artists don't make money till they die.
Oh.
And so she was like, I'm gonna die and people are gonna find all these paintings. And then they're gonna sell for like all of this money. That was like her whole mentality is that artists posting stuff online, promoting yourself, self-promotion, all those things that help people like recognize you, she felt like didn't matter because an artist would not be paid until after their lives expired.
Well, that's her opinion. I don't agree with that. But
I just felt like her resistance to even think about trying to find ways of like promoting herself or getting her art out there.
I can respect that though, because she ain't expecting nothing from nobody.
Yeah.
She just doing her art. Her plan is that it's gonna blow up when she dead.
But I just think that that's short-sighted in its own way.
I mean, it could be long-sighted.
It could be long-sighted.
Yeah, like she could be like, listen, I'm painting all these things. I believe in it so much.
Yeah.
That I'm gonna write everything. My family is gonna own it. And when I pass away, it's gonna be incredibly valuable. That's like very, very confident. That means you gotta live your whole life with something that you feel like gonna be that valuable. And then it won't come to life until you're dead.
I didn't think about it like that.
She's very confident. If I know I got some money, I'm trying to get that money.
I just didn't think about it. Well, I thought it was stubborn. I hear what you're saying as far as confidence.
It can appear stubborn as well.
And I think, I guess my question is how important is it to live with the way technology is moving, the way things are evolving, so that you have a chance to live it today? You know what I'm saying? Like how many artists want to feel like things will happen later? I don't think that's as common.
I mean, I think that's a very great question. I think, some artists want to live in the moment. Some artists want to build a legacy. Some artists want to blend the two together.
Yeah.
She sounds like she just want to build a legacy. And legacies don't always have nothing to do with money. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
It can form into money, but like the start of it, she might be creating something where she's the one that's not going to benefit from it, But then if she want the legacy to continue, her offspring or her family will do the same thing. Whoever the next painter is, they will paint, will never promote it. They just paint and just keep it stocked up. And then they pass away, and now that's a part of their family's collection. But they're living off of the first generation that did it, that did benefit from it. And now the benefit, you know what I'm saying? It could build a legacy off of it if people really believe in it that much.
But I think that thought process goes with being the first generation to use AI. You know, you might not actually benefit it immediately, but your family's family might be like, yeah, my cousin was on this so early that by the time I was here, the dividends was paid. Over abundantly. But I guess it's all about the way you want to look at it. But it seems like you like the middle ground, building the legacy and living within the moment now.
Man. I see it like this. It's rare that you're gonna live in times where newness happens. The world been around for a long time. So if you can experience some new shit, technology-wise, I feel like it's a time period that you just should not take advantage of. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, I'm looking at this shit like, man, it's incredible. This can be dope. Bro. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I was thinking about that. I think when I got off the airplane out of Oakland coming back to Atlanta, I was like, man, I'm living in a time where Hartsfield Jackson, it's huge. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was probably 20, 30 years ago, this airport looked completely different for somebody, you know, and thinking about just taking that point of view, you look back 50, 60, 70, 80 years, the art market, the music market, what was possible.
All of that shit. All of it.
Has been changed.
1,000%.
So why not take advantage of those changes?
I think the biggest thing for artists that are creative, business people / marketing people that are creative, product development people that are creative, to understand how does AI help you elevate your creativity. Simple as that. If you're not looking at AI as a solution to elevate your creativity, I think you're going to get left behind, no matter who you are. But creators are going to be first, because creators are the most likely to be stubborn. I'm sensitive about my art, all that type of shit. That motherfucker, that shit gonna goddamn have you sensitively broke.
Sensitively broke.
Yes, it is.
That is sad. But I mean, the first time I remember hearing about like the coming of AI, I was at my business partner's Holland's parents' house. His dad is a big AI guy. Like, he sits here and watches YouTube videos. And I don't know what he saw. He saw something. I came down the steps. He was like, this is going to replace you. Yo, he was like, illustrators and writers, y'all the first ones to go. I'm telling you, he told this to me clear as day, and it was almost scary the way it's just like, imagine walking into a room, you just having a good ass day, and someone tells you you're done. You're finished. This right here, this thing I just saw on YouTube, you're over with.
I think for writers and editors and illustrators, I think it's just about the AI should make you think more about storytelling than you've ever thought about storytelling. Because AI don't know how to tell a story the same way. AI will make up some shit now. It'll make up a whole goddamn timeline. But now you're competing with their creativity versus your creativity. And that's the part that you got to be able to like, okay, now I'm going to fuck this shit up. I'm finna kill this. And they're going to take my ideas and build off of them and make me look incredible. That's my only goal. I'm just want AI to make me look incredible.
Look better.
Yeah.
I'll fuck with it. I would, man, I want to see you. You one of those people I wish I could watch play chess against like a computer.
Right.
You seem like
I ain't that good at the chess to be playing against AI. AI would kick my ass in chess.
But that was always a bit of the like a metaphor. They would take like a super brainy chess master and they'll put him against a computer. Like TV has done it, movies have done it. And I always like that contrast because it feels like competition. Like, can you outsmart this machine? But there's an undertone here where you're like, compete and collaborate. Like, this thing can make you better by driving you to think about this differently.
I've been working with AI for 2 years now.
Yeah.
We work together.
Y'all go together. Y'all like this.
No, we don't go together, but we work together. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that, there's gonna be some freaky version of AI and virtual reality and augmented reality that I'm not gonna partake in.
Okay.
But in terms of like building my business and workforce,
Yeah.
15% of my workforce is gonna end up being AI technology. I would probably say 85% is gonna be humans. Then 15% gonna be AI technology that's making it so that the other 85% of the humans can kind of function at a high level, when it's all said and done. Because it's like, it just is what it is. It's like you either understand it or you don't.
And that's evolution, right? Functioning at a higher level.
Simple as that.
I think that's all we got. Unless you got something else to add, I feel like you really drove the points home today. Gives creators a lot to think about. Or at least not a lot, actually. It gives you a very clear point of what's about to happen.
Right. I think that the takeaways for me is if you're a creator, if you have ideas, if you dream big, utilize AI to help you put those ideas on paper. And sometimes it can help you bring it to life. You know what I'm saying? And if you have that mentality, then you're not even going to see AI the same way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not going to see it as replacing you or taking your job and none of that. You're going to be like, man, this shit's helping me drive my business. Simple as that.
That's a driver.
Yep.
That's another episode of FU Money with Ty and Yoh. Please, in the comments, tell us how you feel about AI. Tell us how it's been helping your business. Tell us about how this might have changed your opinion on AI. I know we all are in the early stages of just processing how fast things have changed. And yeah, this is a good conversation.
We out.